This video is a tech unboxing for this package, which just arrived a few minutes ago. I know what's in here because I ordered it myself from Lazada. Came from Bangkok, and I decided that I wanted to upgrade my mouse. Mainly because this is the mouse that I've been using for a while. It's your basic Logitech M720. It came packaged with the Logitech MK220 keyboard, wireless keyboard, wireless mouse combination. And this has been doing me fine, to be honest. I'm not a power user on any of my devices. It's just got your basic scroll wheel and a left and a right click, and that's all it does. Powered by, two AA batteries. As basic a mouse as you can get, but my life of technology has gotten quite a bit more complicated lately, as I'm working routinely with two smartphones, a Galaxy tablet, and now a laptop. So I wanted a mouse that had a bit more functionality, and I wanted a Bluetooth mouse and one that could switch easily from one device to the other. So I wanted to be able to pair it with multiple devices and then switch quickly and easily from one to the other. And there are quite a few mice on the market that fit that feature set, basically. And I didn't spend a lot of time on this. I basically wanted to get another Logitech mouse because I'm comfortable with the brand and I kind of trust it and I know what I'm dealing with Logitech products. So I only looked at Logitech mice, and with those you can go to the far top end of powerful mice meant for desktop use with all kinds of individual, like thumb rollers for horizontal scrolling, or even there's like track balls on the side in addition to the scroll wheel, all kinds of fancy features. I didn't want to go to that extreme. And then there were also mice that were designed mainly for travel. So I'm thinking of the MX Anywhere series. I think the most recent one is the MX Anywhere 3. And then I think the one before that was the MX Anywhere 2S. And they're very attractive mice. They're kind of small with, a low profile, kind of like the M150, designed to fit into a computer bag easily. They're lightweight and will travel anywhere. And I believe they are powered by rechargeable batteries through USB-C, so you don't actually have to put in batteries or anything like that. So I looked pretty seriously at the MX Anywhere series. I thought that's what I was going to get. But at the last minute, I changed my mind because a mouse being small and lightweight is not really that important to me. I always carry a pretty large knapsack with me everywhere I go, and there's more than enough room for a medium-sized mouse. I don't have to have, the tiniest mouse available. There's enough room for a larger one. So I settled on this one, which is the Logitech Triathlon M720. Or maybe it's just the Triathlon 720, maybe the M720. I'll find out once I open it up. Should be a little bit of an interesting unboxing for me because in this modern day and age, I'm in this small town in Thailand called Mae Sot, and there really isn't anything for sale here in terms of electronics or gadgets, computers, camera gear, anything like that. All the stores here have an extremely limited selection. They only have the most basic of every device you could name. So I couldn't even find a Bluetooth mouse in all of Mae Sot. They just don't sell them. So I pretty much had to order one online, and that meant going by YouTube reviews and articles reviewing different mice. I wasn't able to actually see any of the mice in person. With packages that come to my guest house here in Thailand, I often have a big story about the delivery procedure. In this case, it was pretty straightforward. The one difference is that in the old days, I've been here in this guest house for a while, my Lazada account had my landlady's phone number listed. And I put that in there at the beginning because I don't think I had a local number at the time anyway. Plus, I can't speak Thai. So if the delivery people call in order to, confirm that you're home or to confirm your address, they wouldn't be able to talk to me anyway. And I gave them my landlady's phone number, and they would call her, I guess. She's never mentioned any of these people calling, but I assume they have, because recently I changed the number on my Lazada account to my own phone number. And I was kind of surprised to find out that all these delivery people call ahead. For me, one of the great things about the modern world is being able to use something like Lazada, where you don't have to deal with people and you don't have to worry about a language barrier or even going to a store. You just go online and you click a button and it shows up at your door because you give them your address. But it turns out that they always call ahead anyway. So every time I order something and I know it's on its way, I kind of live in dread of my phone ringing because I know it will be them calling to ask about the address or to ask whether I'm home or not. And then they will speak only Thai, and I don't speak Thai, and we go through this whole process of trying to understand each other to work out the details. And that's what did happen this time. My phone rang, and it was a woman, and she spoke in Thai, and I apologized profusely for my inability to speak Thai and said, I'm sorry, I only speak English. And then, of course, she just started talking in Thai all over again. And that doesn't really get us anywhere. And I just had to say, I'm sorry, I don't understand. And then she disappeared from the phone for a while. I could hear her talking to some other people. I thought they were going to get the office English speaker, but she came back to the phone and spoke to me at length, a very long conversation in Thai again. And I couldn't do anything but say, I'm sorry, I don't understand. And eventually she just hung up. And the second she hung up, like maybe 30 seconds later, my phone beeped and I got a notification saying that my package had been delivered. So I'm not quite sure what the phone call was about. She was clearly calling from the delivery company office. But the package arrived within seconds of our phone call. So the delivery guy was clearly here at the same time that she was calling me. So I couldn't really understand if they had to make a phone call, why didn't he call? I would have heard the street noises and I would have realized, oh, he's here. And I would have run out the door and gone to take the package. But they called from the office, so I didn't know what the call was about. I wasn't even positive it was the delivery company. I was just assuming that it was. Anyway, after that story, here it is. And let's open this up and take a look at the Logitech Triathlon M720, I believe is the full name. And we'll see whether, as was made famous in the Indiana Jones movie, whether I chose poorly or wisely, sight unseen. So there it is. Is it the 720 or the M720? M720. The Triathlon M720. And at first glance, yeah, it's considerably larger than my M150, but not excessively so. I'm happy with the size. I think that's a nice compromise. While I was doing my research into mice, I learned some new terminology I wasn't aware of in terms of how you grip a mouse. And I guess with a mouse like this, it's so small, you do a fingertip grip. They actually have a name for it where you just put your fingers on the mouse and move it around that way, and that's called like a fingertip grip. And then the big ones that are really arched, you put your whole hand over top of the mouse and you rest your hand on the mouse. You cover up the whole thing and move it around that way. And I think the M720 is sort of somewhere in the middle. It's not big enough that I could really just rest my hand on it. My hand, covers up the whole thing. I've got pretty big hands, I guess. But it's not quite a fingertip grip either. So it's sort of an in-between. Okay, let's open up the package. Luckily, it has one of these easy open systems. You just have to get your finger into the grip and then pull it open. So I don't have to fight with this plastic, which is nice. Let's get this packaging out. And on the back, it says this is an easy switch device. Pair up to 3 computers and seamlessly switch between them. It has a total of 8 customizable buttons. You can fly through your documents because it has a hyper-fast scroll wheel. It has a button on the top, and you click on the button and it switches from easy scrolling, hyper scrolling, to ratcheting, so you can go back and forth. And it is built to withstand up to 10 million clicks. Oh, another good thing about this mouse, and one of the reasons I settled on it, was that it comes with Bluetooth and it has a USB unifying receiver. So you have all the options available. You can pair it through Bluetooth, or you can plug in a dongle and then have it work wirelessly. So yeah, I like that very much. And it shows you some photographs on the inside, how to actually pair it with different devices. 24-month battery life, and I believe it includes a battery, comes with it. 1 AA battery, I believe, lasts for 2 years. All right. There's a lot more that this mouse can do. To be honest, it's probably more mouse than I actually really need, because it isn't one of the high-end mice. It's actually fairly old. I think it came out in 2017, but I think it was such a popular model and it fit into their product line so nicely that people have kept buying it, and they've kept making it. So we've got the mouse wheel at the top. That's a nice scroll. Certainly feels nicer than my M50. This scroll wheel has actually stopped working that well, so it was kind of time to retire this mouse anyway. That feels good. And I think you need power to go to hyper scrolling. Okay, so that's not going to work. Oh no. Oh, you have to push the button to do it. Ah, now there's hyper scrolling. So you can zoom from top to bottom, push the button, and it's a mechanical button, which I don't know whether I like or not. You know, a mechanical button is going to wear out. But to be honest, I don't see myself switching from hyper scrolling to ratchet scrolling that often. So that's pretty much the top of the mouse, you know, the wheel and then the button. And on this side, there's really nothing at all. Kind of a rubbery feel to it. Not pure rubbery, sort of halfway between rubber and plastic. This feels plastic, you know, smooth, slippery plastic for the buttons, but that has a little bit more of a rubbery feel. Yeah, nice click. When you read all these reviews of mice, people get obsessed about the clicking sound, you know, just how loud it is or how quiet it is. So there's like new mice that are supposed to be completely silent. But this one, that's absolutely fine. That's not a loud click. Certainly a lot quieter than the M50. And on this side, it has 3 buttons here at the top. And this button here is what you use to switch from device to device. You can see the numbers on the top, 1, 2, 3, and then you click that button and that will just instantly, you know, switch you pairing from one device to the next, whether it's a computer or a smartphone or a laptop. And then you can sort of do it on the fly. Yeah, just move your thumb and click on it. And then it has 2 buttons here. And these are all these buttons are programmable. You can download the Logitech app, and then you could map these buttons to do whatever you need. But I believe the default right out of the box is just like forward and back. And I believe the wheel can also do horizontal scrolling, left and right. You can actually tilt the wheel to the right and to the left. And you can program what that does as well. All right, let's open this up. And then, of course, you have to pull the tab in order to expose the contact of the battery. And now it should be fully operational. Yeah, I can see the button here flashing. It wants to be paired with its first device, and it has a power button on the bottom. I think one difference between this mouse and some of the others in the Logitech series is that even if they can switch to different devices, a lot of them can only go to 2 devices at a time, not 3. And that's one reason I chose this, because it can switch to 3 devices. And it has the switch on the top, which I quite like. I think on the MX Anywhere series, the switch is on the bottom. So you actually have to, pick up the mouse and then touch buttons on the bottom of the mouse and put it back down again. No big deal. But I think it's better to have it on the side here, and then you can just do it much more easily. The one question I have is about the optical device here. Like, some of them are laser, and they have a more precise DPI, like 4,000 DPI accuracy. I believe this one is optical, and it only has like 1,000 DPI optical, I think. But for my purposes, if I'm happy using the M150, whatever its accuracy is, I'm sure I'll be happy with this one. And the other question, of course, is what surfaces your mouse will work on. I tend to do a lot of work just sitting on a bed, so I need a mouse that will actually scroll on, or that will track on bed sheets. Not on a mouse pad, but right on the bed sheet itself, or even on your leg, like on your pant leg, something like that. I often use the mouse on that kind of material. And this one works fine, so I assume this one will as well. And I think the more expensive mice, maybe even the Anywhere series, they can track on glass, like even on a glass top or a shiny surface. This one can't. But that's not a disadvantage for me, because I would never be on a glass surface. And if I was on a glass surface, I would just grab a piece of paper or a mouse pad or something and put it on there, and then I'd be able to use it. So I don't need that flexibility. There it is, the Triathlon M720 from Logitech. And that's just a unboxing and first impressions. And my impressions are very, very good. Any concerns I had that maybe it would be too big? No, it's not too big. Too heavy? No, it's actually, in a way, I think it feels lighter than this one, because this one takes 2 batteries. It's much smaller, but I think it's actually denser and heavier than this one. This one only requires 1 battery, because I guess it's more efficient in its power usage. So weight is fine, size is fine. It's not too big, not too small. And in terms of buttons, I'm sure I don't even need 8 programmable buttons, really. Where are they? 8 of them. Oh, yes, there is one other button I forgot to mention. Right here on the thumb rest, there is a hidden button right underneath there. Nice. Actually, that feels good. And in some of the reviews that I saw for this mouse, people commented that of all the features that they focused on to choose this mouse, they completely ignored that button. They didn't really consider it in their purchase decision. But once they started using this mouse, it was that button that really sold them on it. That button actually became the most useful feature of this mouse. Yeah, it feels good, actually. And you program that to something you do very often. And yeah, that button can be very useful, I think, because it's always there. Your thumb is like always on top of that button. You don't even have to move your thumb to get to it. Nice. The other buttons, whether they're placed well, I don't know yet. I'll only know that after I use it for a little while. So that's it. Logitech Triathlon M720 mouse. Impressions are good. I think I chose wisely. See you in the next video.